Good morning, everyone. I'm Senator Joe Donnelly, Chairman of the Board for the Soufan Center, the organizer of this forum, along with key partners, including Qatar International Academy for Security Studies, Hamad bin Khalifa University, Ari Nev Trust, New America Foundation, Defense One, Nordic Safe Cities, the Soufan Group, Qatar Airways, and the United Nations Counterterrorism Executive Director. Wow, what a list of organizations. And it is growing each year, reflecting the growing breadth and reach of the Soufan Center's work. I would like to thank you for joining us at this year's Global Security Forum. We are getting closer to where we were before COVID-19. This year, we've been in a hybrid format with a great many of our amazing speakers in Doha. I wish I was there with you all right now. Nonetheless, I'd like to thank the government of the state of Qatar for their support in fostering a space for the open and honest exchange of ideas. Many of you may recall joining us here in Doha at the forum on returning foreign terrorist fighters. Our inaugural forum in 2018 gathered government officials, policymakers, and subject matter experts from around the world and across multiple sectors to focus on the challenge of returning foreign terrorist fighters. In 2019, we convened ministers, ambassadors, intelligence analysts, and human rights experts to address the security threat of modern disinformation. And last year, we convened online to discuss the topic of world disorder and how to manage security challenges in an increasingly complex landscape. Despite the pandemic, thousands joined our sessions, and it was on the critical issues shaping our rapidly changing world. This year, we've expanded on these previous forums by exploring the topic, cooperation or competition, changing dynamics of global security. We've built on previous forums by assembling the sharpest minds from government, the private sector, and nonprofit worlds. In light of these 3 days of insights, I would be remiss in not noting that the Soufan Center has published numerous products and reports that underscore just how difficult cooperation can be in a fast-moving international environment, but at the same time, offered concrete and action-oriented recommendations for policy and practice, focusing on the change we can make. In spring 2021, the Soufan Center published a data-driven report on QAnon and why third-party actors are weaponizing conspiracy theories to drive wedges within society. This was in addition to comprehensive reports about Iran, terrorism in Southwest or Southeast Asia, and civic engagement and resistance movements in the Arab world. In September 2021, the Soufan Center published a report on Al-Qaeda, which highlighted the group's diminishment. Yet the report was also clear-eyed in emphasizing that much more remains to be done if the scourge of international terrorism is to be kept in check. Just last week, the Center published a report on violent far-right movements in the United States and the United Kingdom. This report was the outcome of a project between the Soufan Center and the Ari Nev Trust. And between all this, TSC has innovated and created a new format for publications, the Issue Brief. The Issue Brief is aimed at policymakers and practitioners addressing crucial gaps in responding to an evolving security threat. So far, these have focused on addressing extreme right-wing terrorism, prosecuting terrorist crimes, and challenges surrounding the financing of terrorism. Despite the ongoing pandemic, the Soufan Center has stepped up its virtual programming with a series of webinars that have been widely viewed. In fact, many of you have been part of these sessions. Inevitably, the Soufan Center's recommendations touch on the need for cooperation. No one government company, or individual has the capacity to fight extremist groups, the spread of infectious diseases, or disinformation. Success in tackling these issues requires cooperation, not a go-it-alone approach. Many of you watching online, and those of you in Doha, often serve as the inspiration for these ideas and policy recommendations that often figure so centrally in the Soufan Center's work. Now, through the exchanges here in Doha, you will continue to inspire each other to solve society's most vexing problems. The forum's organizers assembled an all-world cast from government, academia, Silicon Valley, Hollywood, journalism, and think tanks to deliver keynote speeches and fireside chats. At the same time, the forum's discussion panels offered new approaches to thinking about and responding to regional and national security challenges, evaluated the impact of disinformation, examined COVID-19's impact on international cooperation, and the rise of far-right extremism across the globe. Please use the ideas and lessons from this gathering as you engage with colleagues to solve the world's problems. And remember, it is easier to achieve change through cooperation than it is through competition. That's my takeaway from the brilliant minds who attended this year's forum. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you to our gracious hosts, speakers, and partners. Thanks so much.